We have another round of preseason games for Friday, August 8th. And as you can see, the odds are on the screen. There are just 3 games today. And we will start with the Detroit Lions versus the Atlanta Falcons. Detroit Lions money line is at minus 195. Atlanta Falcons money line is at plus 165. Those are the odds for both teams. The Hawks. The Falcons are an underdog at home, but this is just preseason. Well, they would be an underdog anyway, but it is just preseason though. But the odds are pretty much where they're more than likely going to be. Oh wow, they changed. Look at this, minus 180 to plus 155 now. That's a difference. That's a difference. But minus 3.5 spread at minus 110 cost even for both teams. Plus 3.5, 3.5 point favorites are the Lions. 3.5 point underdogs are the Falcons. Over unders at 32.5. Minus 120 going over. Plus 100 going under. And let's see where the money is going in this one. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. All right. 70% of the betting going with Detroit, 50% 50-50 on the money. 30% of the betting going with Atlanta on the money line. Spread looks like this: 54% going with the Lions and 82% of the money. 54% of the betting, 82% of the money going with the Lions. Only 18% going with Atlanta at home. People are forgetting this is just preseason, but this is still early in the day. So obviously this 82 won't last. This won't hold. Over under looks like this: 75% of the betting going over, 84% of the money going over, only 16% going under, and 25% going under. Okay, let's see where the odds are. Okay, 180, that decreased to 180 right here. 50% going with the Lions, but they are getting 70% of the betting. So naturally, people are going to go with the Lions. That they are the better team, top to bottom, as we speak. Now that could change when the season begins. Obviously, the games haven't been played yet, but with this 180 minus 180, monitor this. The reason why I say this could go to minus 200, up to minus 200 by kickoff, is because sorry about that. Is because of this 50%. Is because of this 50% right here. That is the only reason they're going to go to minus 200, because this 50-50 is not going to hold, especially with this 70% out here, which I think is going to hold somewhere near about 68, 65%, somewhere there, the betting, that is, which is definitely going to increase this money here, which I think that's going to go up to about 60, 62%. This is going to go up to about 60, 62%. If probably at the lowest, maybe 56, 58% at its lowest, at its valley. But if you sorry about that. If you see the Lions go up to minus 200 on their odds here, they are almost a lock. And this goes up as well. They are almost a lock. This 50% goes up as well. They are almost a lock to win this game across the board pretty much here. They are getting 82% right now. That will decrease of the money on the spread. That will decrease. However, I expect this one to hold. 54% of the betting going with Detroit. And that's how that is going to go. Now, Atlanta does have a chance to win this game. They are at plus 155. Plus 3.5, 3.5 point underdogs. They are. Atlanta has value in this game, though, so don't get too caught up on Detroit, because if they don't approach that minus 200, go with Atlanta, obviously, across the board, since they are a dog. Over unders at 32.5, minus 120 going over, plus 100 going under. And I would join the public and go with that 84%, although that won't hold up. They will still have the over will have a favorable advantage on the betting and the money, and they'll definitely be obviously over 50, 60 percentile by the time kickoff happens. Join the public and go over. Now the next game, Cleveland versus Carolina, the big game of the day. Cleveland Shedeur Sanders is starting for Cleveland. Plus 250 for the Browns, minus 300 for Carolina. And that's basically the big game. That's the one everybody's going to tune into because Deion Sanders' son is starting. Obviously, the NFL is doing that for ratings because the owner came out a few days ago, said that, he wasn't his pick and, things like that. But plus 6.5 underdog are the Browns on the road at minus 120 cost. 6.5 point favorites are the Panthers at plus 100 cost. Over under 32.5, minus 115 going over, minus 105 going under. And so with, let me look it up. All right. Plus 250, minus 300. That is a sizable money line for a preseason game. Well, the next one is too, but we'll go over that in a moment. Minus 300 for the Panthers. People don't expect Cleveland to do very much. You see they're getting 74% of the money due to that announcement, that news a couple of days ago. However, the Carolina is getting 60% of the betting odds. So people putting heavy money on Cleveland in this one. The reason why I say early, especially early in the preseason, especially with this kind of news, they're looking to build hype. So these kind of games are very difficult to predict, but they're easy to analyze. This plus 250 could happen, could win you some money, but this 74 percentile will have to decrease more than likely. But the narrative is going to overshadow, with this game only, the narrative is going to overshadow the odds in this game and the splits as well. So this 74 percentile here is going to have to hold for Cleveland in this plus 250. Is going to have to hold for Cleveland to win this game. They're going to have to stay above that 200, 220 plus like that. They're looking to build hype. They're looking to build confidence with the odds early in the season. And this is what preseason is for. So, plus 250 for Cleveland here. Take the risk and pick them only because of hype. Only because they're looking to build hype and confidence in the odds in the sports books. So, despite this 74 percentile, they are getting 77% of the money on the spread. And I think minus 120. They're at minus 120 cost. So they can make their money back here, the bookies here. And they're definitely going to make their money back here. So, let's see where the over-under is going. All right. 72% betting going over, 63% of the money going over, 32.5 points. Okay. They're getting 77% here. The under is at that minus 105. That is a sweet spot for totals, especially for totals that cost. So, this game is going to be more than likely go over that 32.5. More than likely go over that 32.5. If it's not, it will be a blowout for Cleveland. More than likely, it will be a blowout for Cleveland, and it will be something like 28 to 3, making it 31 points, something like that, or 24 to 7, something like that. So, Cleveland, take the risk. I say Cleveland, take the risk. Take the risk only because I believe they're looking to build confidence in the odds. But next game, Washington Commanders versus New England Patriots, plus 230 for the Commanders, minus 280 for the New England Patriots, plus 6.5 at minus 110 cost for the Commanders, minus 6.5 at minus 110 cost for the Patriots. On the spread, over-unders at 32.5 points, minus 120 cost going over, plus 100 going under. Let's see where the money is going in this one. New England is a sizable favorite. All right. 42% on the money line going with Washington. 72% of the money going with Washington on the money line. New England is getting most of the betting, but they're only getting 28% of the money. People putting heavy money on Washington in this game. and they're in the headlines for their receiver that's looking for a trade or looking for a bigger contract. So obviously he more than likely will not play in this game. More than likely the starters. It's still early in preseason. Obviously the first game for most teams. So except for Detroit and LA Chargers and the ones who played yesterday. But this is the first game for a lot of teams. 77% of the betting going with Washington on the spread. They're only getting 38% of the money though. Minus 110 cost even here. Minus 280. We're going to focus on their money line. It's only getting 28%. 72% going with Washington. This could be another one of those games where they're looking to build confidence in the underdog and build confidence in the odds in sports betting. It's all about building confidence in the bettors so that obviously the bookies can get paid. And so I say this will be a game where you want to take a risk. This 72 percentile probably won't hold. It will more than likely be 62, 60% over under. Over 34.5 minus 120 going over cost. 73% betting going over. 89% of the money going over. All right. Minus 120 cost going over. All right. Sorry about that. 34.5, the highest total of the day so far. Minus 120 going over. I would join the public and go with 89%. That's not going to hold. 89% of the money going with this minus 120. They get 100% right here. 100% odds because it's even. So I would actually fade the public only as it speaks and go with, only as it shows, and go with under 34.5 for this game. But once again, I would challenge the odds and go with the underdog in this game across the board. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Pray every day. I've been Scott. Take it easy. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description and in the video. Have a great day.